Motivation, motivation, you can do more and better. Motivation, you can.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Level Up Daily, the podcast where we build ourselves up one day at a time. I'm your host, Zach, someone currently training to run the 2027 Kyoto Marathon, chasing big dreams, and leveling up in other areas like learning Japanese.
And I'm Josh, an automotive major that is just trying to learn everything and anything about cars to be able to help other people who are in need.
If you've ever had a goal in life or a dream that keeps calling, then this show is just for you. Every Monday, we talk real stories, practice mindset shifts, and actionable steps to keep you moving forward. And today's topic, guys, we are talking about the truth about overnight success. What do you think about overnight success, Josh?
I think, as people have probably said many times, that nothing happens overnight, and that is very true. Everything happens. The big success can and usually does happen overnight, but the progress it takes to get there is never an overnight thing, and it's never something that you get lucky with. You have to always work to get to places. Even if you may know someone that's already there, you still have to make a name for yourself to be able to get in their position or close to where they are now.
So yeah, I agree, guys. I do believe that overnight success, like mindset or overnight success mentality, that people can go from being completely broke one day to being a millionaire overnight just by doing nothing. I do believe that's literally fake, guys. And people tend to use that as an excuse to make themselves feel better because they weren't able to accomplish the success that somebody else was able to accomplish. And a lot of times when I see people saying, oh, that person's a one-hit wonder or that person got lucky, it's usually people who go home, sit on the couch and watch TV after working the 9 to 5s. So it's people that aren't putting in any work, guys, that say like, this person got lucky or this person's a one-hit wonder or this person is an overnight success. And I do have two really great examples, guys, that I looked up earlier today. I was blown away. I did not realize that, like, these were kind of like overnight success stories, but they grinded so long and they got that success all at once. And a lot of people don't realize is there's so much that goes on behind the scenes. And all you see is like the peak of the success. You don't see the work that they go behind the scenes. So in these two stories, guys, I want to focus on the behind the scenes and how much work they actually put into the stuff before it became a success that we know today. The first example, guys, I have is a video game. And many of you guys probably played this game. I played like one version of this game. It was like the Star Wars version on the 3DS. But the example, guys, is Angry Birds by Rovio. I think that's who made it. So in 2009, guys, this game came out on mobile. And many people believe that this person made Angry Birds as his first game. But in actual reality, guys, this was his 52nd game that he actually made. The other 51 games were failures and nobody actually played them. So it took 6 years, guys, of him making games before hitting the big one. And many people don't know about the other 51. They just know Angry Birds because that's the one that instantly got popular. Everybody was addicted to it and everybody was playing it. Like I said, I only played like the one on the 3DS. It was Angry Birds Star Wars. Have you ever played like the original Angry Birds?
Oh, I've played that game all the time. I've played so many variations. Like, I played Angry Bird the original. I played Angry Bird Seasons. I've played Angry Bird Space. Angry Birds Star Wars 1, 2, and 3, I'm pretty sure. Angry Birds Trilogy. That game was one of the few highlights of my childhood that I vividly remember as far as like apps that I grew up on. There are some others that are discontinued, but the original Angry Birds is definitely one of them that I played.
Did you know he had other games he made before Angry Birds?
I did not know
because
that.
I actually did not know that either. So you see, like, you don't see the behind the scenes. Like, when I first saw that, I was like, no way. I didn't even realize that this guy actually made other games, but they weren't big because not many people played them. and they were taken off the App Store because they weren't getting any attention. Like, not that many. Like, I don't even think hundreds of people are playing those games. But Angry Birds, guys, had like probably thousands, probably like 100,000 people playing at a time, as opposed to the other games he made. So that's just one example, guys, as to how much work he had to put in. Like 6 years it took him to make games. He kept making different games, guys. And like, you have to have that mindset of, I got to keep going. I got to keep persevering. And it's not like an overnight success thing. Yeah, he had success really fast with Angry Birds, but he had to make all those other games, and it was trial and error type stuff, guys. And they don't tell you that. They just focus on the success. Like, when the guy gets interviewed, they only talk about Angry Birds. They don't ask him about the other 51 games. They don't even list the 51 games. Like, you can't even look at the names of those games. I wish you could, but you really can't. All right, guys, the next example I have is actually something that's really big. And this is something that if you travel, many of you guys actually use. And this is something that me and Josh actually used while we were in Japan this year. Airbnb, guys. So this is the perception that people have of it. It was two guys renting out air mattresses in the living room. They launched an app and instantly made an impact on the hotel industry. That just sounds so wild. If this was actually true, that would be an overnight success story. Like, no joke. Two guys just renting out air mattresses in a room. Then they just launch an app and all of a sudden they have lots of money because of it. But that's not the case, guys. That is not what happened with Airbnb. What really happened is the app launched to complete silence. They launched the app and maybe one or two people used it. That was it. As opposed to millions of people that use it today. So they spent 1,000 days, guys, struggling to get traction. And 1,000 days is over 3 years. So I want you guys to realize, they actually spent 3 years of their life struggling to get the app to actually get attention. They were maxing out credit cards, guys, and they were selling collectible cereal boxes just to pay rent for their house and keep the servers running before the investors actually took them seriously. So if they wouldn't have had that perseverance, guys, that mindset of never giving up and being able to see the dream all the way through, because many people, guys, they would have launched the app, waited 6 months and gave up. But these guys, they didn't give up, guys. And for over 3 years, they just kept grinding. And eventually they would get the attention of investors, and the investors would invest in them. And that's how they were able to make that big jump and become big. Like, people prefer Airbnb over hotels. That's how big they actually got. So that's actually really amazing. When I was reading that earlier today, guys, I was jumping up and down. I was no way. I actually did not realize that Airbnb could technically be an overnight success story. But you see, it's not real though. It's all perception. People don't realize it's not overnight success. And that's why I say overnight success is fake, guys. The people that have the success, guys, they are putting in the work. And it's work that is unseen. When you go to the gym for 6 months, your body's gonna change. You're gonna lose the weight. You're gonna gain the muscle, whatever you're trying to do. But you have to stay consistent with it. Just like everything else in life, guys, you might get that compound interest, because that's kind of how success works. You work behind the scenes and you're investing in that big moment. And when that big moment comes, and people don't realize what you're doing behind the scenes, it looks like it's overnight success. But in actual reality, you're putting in the work behind the scenes. They just don't see it. And that's why we gotta put this to light. Overnight success, guys, isn't real. It's literally, you're getting success from the stuff that you're doing in secret, you know? What do you think, Josh?
I agree with that. As another, I guess you could say, another story that many people probably realize or don't realize is that it's not just, companies that start up that go through that. A lot of people that work for companies also go through that. And doing my research, I found out basically almost every automotive company had tried to work for a different car company and pitched their idea to the manufacturer, and it got rejected. So they went and did their own thing and succeeded in that aspect. As you probably see a lot of people, or videos of companies testing their cars on crash dummies and all that. That's not just for show. That's to show that all the years of their evolution from hard work and testing and trial and error was to make sure they make the best car for the customers and the safest car for the drivers. And they all, started from trying to work with someone and trying to pitch their idea, getting rejected, and still having the motivation to get their idea out there. And it ended up succeeding to the point where they are able to run their own businesses in several different countries under their own name with their own signature twist on a vehicle that makes them stand out from other companies. And it just goes to show, just sticking to your motivation, regardless how many times you get strike down, and regardless of how hard it may be, will end up reaping the benefits. You just gotta, not let that flame die out so easily, and just let the flame be the reason why you keep pushing further and keep trying to get your idea to the biggest audience you can get it to be.
Yeah, I didn't realize a lot of those automotive industries, they do stuff like that. They go to other companies and they're rejected, and then they just say, you know what? I'll prove them wrong. I'll start my own business. That's kind of how it's done too, guys. Like, these people come up with really good ideas and they pitch it to like an already established company, and that company's like, nah, we don't see the vision. And then they end up becoming the biggest competitor to that business because they do it on their own. And then that business is probably kicking themselves because they're like, dang, we should have took the idea. We should have took it when he offered it to us, Because once you establish yourself and you're competing with that company's got to be thinking, I wish I would have took that idea when it was given to me. I wish we would have took this guy on our team. But yeah. Another thing, guys, I think it was like William Shakespeare. I think he was pitching his plays to people and they were rejecting him too. And then he just published it himself, if I'm not mistaken. And he became a well-known writer and play director and stuff. So that's another example of, some people would say overnight success, but in actual reality, guys, he got rejected so many times before he actually made it. And that's how a lot of these stories, celebrities, singers and stuff, they're usually rejected many times and then they actually make it big. It just takes one moment, guys, and it could happen to you as well, but you have to keep fighting for your dreams. You can't give up. It might take years. It might take a decade. It could take 20 years, guys, but eventually you will make it if you keep going and you keep fighting for your dream. Now, obviously, you have to keep working for it too. You can't just say, oh, my dream's gonna come true, and then go home after work, sit on the couch and watch TV. That's not gonna get your dream going. You have to have an actual plan. You have to plan out your dream. What are you gonna do this month, next month, the month after that, to keep yourself moving forward? Because if you're not moving forward, your dream's not gonna become any closer than it is today. And that's what this podcast is all about, guys. It's about helping you guys accomplish your goals, accomplish your dreams. And this is only episode 5. Imagine when we get to episode 25, 50, 100. Even for those of you guys who watch videos and you think, I want to do that one day, you can start today. You can start with just buying a $45 to $50 tripod and just setting it up in your room and just record whatever content you want to make. It could be anything. The internet, there's content on everything now, guys. No joke, there's people that make videos on how to open a doorknob and it gets so many views. I'll show you that video later. It's a 2-second video, but it's literally a guy showing you how to open a doorknob. It's insane. You can make content on anything, guys. I've seen people go from 400 followers to 3,000 followers in a month or 2 months because they're consistent with it. It's all about consistency. Like, that's kind of like what I want you guys to take away from today's video. Today's video wasn't that long, but if you take away anything, it's consistency. Starting and staying consistent. You don't have to upload every day. You don't have to work every day. You could take days off, but you need to be on a schedule. You need to be doing like the same thing or moving forward like a few days a week. Like if you're trying to like make content, maybe you post Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then you're off the rest of the days. Or if you're trying to like study something, you can study Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, something like that. If you're going to the gym, plan out your gym week. What days are you going? What are you working on? It keeps you moving, and it keeps you on a schedule. Like it kind of directs you like when to go. It makes it easier for you to actually show up and do it when you actually know when you're supposed to do it. Is there anything else you want to leave the people off with before we end the video?
Yeah, sure. So this isn't to contradict our last podcast about changing things up, because yes, it is okay to be consistent and as well as change things up as well. But when it's aligning with your goals, that's usually when it's best to be the most consistent, because that's when you're the most tempted to want to change it. And that's usually where some people end up missing their blessings, because they are so close to it and then they change it because it doesn't work out, or it's too hard, or it just seems boring. But it's that thought that makes it, if you fight it, you see what you may reap from the blessings that come from overcoming the temptation to just stop and change things up. So, you know, when things may seem boring and you have a goal and it's aligning with it, be consistent, like my buddy has said. It's okay to change things up, but never give up on your goals. Even if it may seem like it's far from your reach, it'll come in its own time.
A lot of times in life, guys, as well, it's always that moment when you are about to give up, when you really want to quit, when times get so tough, when you feel like, man, where do I go from here? Everything's crashing down. I feel like I'm losing everything right now. It's always that next season that you actually make it big. I kid you not. Like, every time you hear the stories, guys, and you watch the videos on the people who made it and stuff, and even like speaking from past blessings that I've experienced, it's always that moment when you feel like you're about to give up, you can't take it anymore, and every single voice in your head is just screaming, give up, don't do this today, don't do this now, just start over, do something else, make a new plan. That's when your plan actually works, when you keep fighting through those like battles. It's always like those demon voices in your head telling you to give up. It's when you beat those voices and you actually tell them, no, we're going to keep going. Like literally like a month later, you end up getting the goal that you set out to accomplish. That's when you really want to stay consistent. That's when you really want to make sure that you're on your A game. It's when like you're going through those tough seasons in your life. But anyway, guys, we hope you guys enjoyed. We will see you guys next week for episode 6 of the Level Up Daily podcast.